Each and every gonna wanna, don't you have to go to the bathroom?
It was the worst of times.
I don't know what you see. It was bedtime.
What I see is me.
Absolutely.
You want to have your cake and eat it too.
They thought I was you.
Hello and welcome to They Thought It Was You, the podcast where we revisit our childhood obsessions with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and we figure out what it means to us now. I am Lanny Harms. I'm a writer-actor.
I'm Becca Roth. I'm a writer-director.
And I just can't believe what we're about to do, Becca.
Oh my God. Okay. So we have the guest of all guests.
Yes, we gave you guys a bunch of clues so far. We've given you that this is in celebration of an anniversary, 20th anniversary, with a gorgeous person who works.
Gorgeous person. It's a jump in our timeline. It is. We're not stuck in 95 anymore. And
we're going to go back to 95 after this, but yes.
Yeah.
It's
someone in a role that we have not yet spoken to yet.
Yes.
And it is an actor.
It's an actor. It is a boyfriend.
It is one of the boyfriends. He is what time it is.
He is what time it is. And honestly, if you are playing this on your podcast right now, you already know who it is because it's in the description or the title of the episode.
Oh my God, it's so funny. We did this with The Takes Two also. We're like, you will never believe. And it's literally the title is like the writer of It Takes Two. Okay.
Yes.
Whatever. Okay. So fine. It is fucking Ben Easter who played
Jordan Landers
in Holiday in the
Department
Sun.
Store Landers.
Of Landers Hardware Store.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Please cut this.
No, from Holiday in the Sun. And we're about to talk to him.
I'm too nervous.
Lanny has been pooping for like 2 months.
Yes, I miraculously don't have to poop right now. So he's about to jump into Zoom at any moment. And so thank God, because
thank God.
This is the moment.
Okay. All right. Here he is. Oh my God. Okay. Let's do this. We got this. It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can see you.
Oh,
we can't.
This is ridiculous. Hold on, you guys. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
No worries.
Okay. Hold, ladies. 1 second.
Okay. Hi, Ben Easter. Thank you so
Hi.
much for being here and doing the show.
Yeah, we are.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you.
I'm not going to underwhelm you with my.
No.
Oh, geez. Sorry.
You couldn't.
But yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Let's just start from the beginning, if you don't mind. I would just love to know what you were doing right before you ever got involved with the Olsen twins.
Yeah, what were you?
Well, to be honest, I think I was pretty fresh to LA. I had just finished, I was like an Iowa kid, basically. And I did a movie. I booked a movie in Iowa for Masterpiece Theater and had this amazing experience. And then my next movie was on Pearl Harbor. And then I went from that to working with the Olsen twins. So I was really, really fresh to LA. Because I think Pearl Harbor was the first film that I did in LA. And then the second film was with the Olsen twins. So I was such a newbie that I really had no idea what I was doing, which was kind of good in the sense I was studying acting and the craft and all of that, but auditioning was new, just like LA was new and just that whole thing. But that kind of worked for me because I wasn't, I think I would have psyched myself out more had I known what I was getting myself into on some levels. So yeah, that was before the twins. So when I got the audition, I was so focused on being a serious actor that I didn't I didn't think oh, these girls were, the babies on Full House that my sister and I watched. It didn't register with me completely, or wasn't that big of a deal to me at the time, which was great. So I didn't get all nervous and until we had the meeting, our first meeting together before I got the job. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was doing, was just like the starving actor who was working as a security guard at a hotel. And yes, everybody thought I was a bellman, and I had to always explain that I was not a bellman, that I was a security guard. But they would let me leave and go shoot movies and come back and work and go shoot a movie and come back. So it was kind of like an interesting, you know, side job.
And getting Pearl Harbor.
Even when I was working on their show, I was like working 5 days a week on the show, and then 2 days a week at the hotel as a security guard. Like literally, like the craziest. Who does that? Yes.
Wow.
That was my life when I was.
Did anyone recognize you at that time? Like, was anyone like that?
I have horror stories like of embarrassment. Like,
oh my God,
it was bad. It was bad. Yes. After Holiday in the Sun too. Yeah. So I can't believe I'm telling you the story. I'll tell you the story. Do you even want to know the story?
Yes,
of course.
We want to know everything. What do you mean?
Hey, I want people to know this story.
That's you can think about that. Answer. Yeah, that's up to you. Okay, we want to know everything. I don't have any shame.
So, so anyway, not only did I wear a double-breasted, huge sports coat. That was like that's what I had to wear at my job.
Yeah.
With beach ball tie and huge pants. Like, you guys, everything was so big on me because I was so little.
Yeah.
It was so embarrassing. And I would walk around with a walkie-talkie. And one day I was walking through the lobby because I was on patrol. This was at Shutters in the Beach Hotel.
Okay.
Which is, if you've been, are you familiar with Shutters?
No.
I think I might have actually been there. Well, I just moved here a couple months ago, but I think I might have been. Is that the one that's like a weird color? It's like on right across from it. Or is that one? There's one that's like a bold color.
You know what? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I haven't been down to Santa Monica even when I'm in LA for so long, actually. So I don't know. But it's like a little beach house, you know. It's near the pier kind of, and it's like very swanky and private, and you know. And I work swing shift. Anyway, this is after Holiday in the Sun, and I'm totally avoiding the story. But one day I was walking through the lobby, and I was walking out of the lobby and getting ready to go. I was going through valet, and I was going to walk across the street and go back to security base. And as I pass through the motor court and I'm walking down the street to cross over the street to go to the other building, I hear people scream my name. And I was like, total security guard mode. Tough guy, right? And I turn around quick, and I was like, just kind of standing there in shock. And these girls were standing there, and they're screaming, and they come running. And here I am in this stupid outfit. And
oh my God.
On my day job. And they're like, oh my God, it's you. And they're like, what are you doing here? Oh my God. We were in the car waiting for our parents, and we're listening to the song that you sing, Ashley, in the movie.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is like worst case scenario.
Oh my God.
And totally sweet too. But I'm like, here I am, like dressed like one step away from a clown. And so then anyway, as I'm kind of talking to them and like trying to figure out what I'm going to do because I'm so nervous, my walkie-talkie goes off.
No.
Base to patrol. And I was like, oh, shoot, here we are. What am I going to do? And, you know, so it was really funny and interesting and sweet. And they took their picture with me, you know, like the next day or something. They were staying in the hotel and stuff. But, you know, this was happening quite a bit.
Wow. And
but I was so scared of like not having job and income and stuff in between. So like, even when I didn't have to work, I would always work. They would always let me come back, and it kept me busy. And it was crazy. That's crazy. You guys are taking it back.
I can't believe you were nervous. What were you nervous about? Just like that you were on your job?
Well, no, I think it was a couple things. Like, you know, like I'm a pretty shy person generally. Like I'm outgoing, I guess. But I'm like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Like I loved acting so much and the craft of it, but I wasn't ready or wasn't so excited about attention on me. And so, you know, but that's like how it just kind of started happening. And, you know, it was great. I'm totally flattered and grateful for it, you know? because I'm that way about certain things too. So I get it, you know, about certain shows and like old actors. Like obviously my dogs are named after the Olsen, or not the Olsens, the Nelsons.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
that would have been a scoop.
So that's not weird, right?
Right.
Ashley.
That would be
Elizabeth.
true.
Yeah. You know, totally ridiculous. Actually, they would laugh really hard if I did that, but that'd be really creepy. No, the Nelson family, Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. I'm obsessed with the Nelsons. So like if Ozzie and Harriet were still alive and I saw, I would lose it. I would totally. I get it.
Yeah.
If I had been one of those girls, you don't even know. Like whatever it was that they did and said, I would have like, I don't know what I would have done. I would have been so obnoxious. I would have been so insane. Like you're lucky you are meeting me now and not then. Like,
oh yeah, no.
Likewise.
And we still
Likewise.
so much
You'd be
butterflies.
like, you could even have a beach ball tie that like fits you, or a double-breasted jacket that actually fits you, with shoulder pads. They were so huge, you guys.
Oh my god. Oh my
I'll try and find a photo for you. You'll
I
be
was
like,
gonna
oh my
say,
God.
please.
And
We
everybody
would love to put that on
and my hair
Instagram.
was really curly, like your hair, Becca. Like I had super curly hair.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of unmanageable. And growing up, people thought that I was Joey McIntyre or that I was trying to be like New Kids on the Block. And first of all, that was not like, they were cool, secretly cool if you were a guy, like, but you didn't want anyone to know how cool they were, you know, because girls loved them so much during that time period.
Yeah.
It was the last thing I wanted to look like. And people sometimes at Shutters would scream. One time someone yelled, Frodo.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, that's it. No more curly hair. I'm not wearing my hair curly.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's funny.
That's funny. So let's go back a little, actually, when you're talking about like meeting Mary-Kate and Ashley for the first time when they were like considering giving you the job. Can you just talk us through the whole process of like getting the audition and like what you thought the project was at first, just like very beginning stuff. What was that like for you?
Yeah. You know, I just had an audition and my manager or agent called and they were saying, okay, yeah, this movie with the Olsen twins. And I remember going out on the audition and the cast director was amazing. And she filmed it and I had no idea. And thank God she did not tell me that she was sending that tape straight to the girls. Yes. And the girls told me later, like they told me later they watched it and stuff, but I think they told me, I can't remember. Somebody told me that they watched it. Oh yeah. No, they told me, or Jill or something. They're one of their producers, who was their nanny for years.
You know, Jill.
Yeah, we know all about Jill.
I love Jill. She's one of the coolest people, one of the nicest, most real, amazing people I've ever met.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, cool. I want to be clear. I don't know.
We don't know her. We just know
of
about
her.
Oh, you know her. Like, yeah, it's sort of like, you know, the twins too. Like, you know, they're everywhere. They're the sweetest people. But yeah, I remember I had the audition and that was great and everything. And then I got a call and they're like, okay, I can't remember if I went back. I don't think that I went back in for another read. I kind of feel like then I had a meeting with them.
Wow.
You guys, I was nervous for that because then I was like, oh my God. And I'll tell you why I was nervous. I was nervous because I was 22. Yeah. And I think my agent or someone said that I was 16 because that was like my casting age. Which nobody wants to be 22 playing a 16-year-old. Like I think that kind of helped me too because I was a little bit just like, oh, I don't want to play young, you know?
Yeah.
But when I was very lucky to be able to do that. So I remember being so nervous because I'm like, what if they ask me my age, you know?
Yeah.
I was like,
so did they think you were 16 the whole time? Did they think you were 16?
Well, in that meeting, it came up and it wasn't the girls that asked it. So I remember it was Robert, their attorney. I think it was Jill and Mary-Kate and Ashley and Robert. Yeah. And, you know, it was intimidating. It was like in this beautiful building on like the 1 millionth floor, you know, Avenue of the Stars, like, you know, and it was still all so new and fresh. And I will never forget because I was so nervous when I was leaving the garage after the meeting that I almost hit Larry King was walking by and I almost like, I didn't almost
with your car,
but like I had to like tap the brakes several times. Yeah. And he was just walking and I was just like, whoa, this is too much for me in one day. Like being this Iowa guy.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, I remember Robert, I was so nervous. I sat down, they were sweethearts, like super nice. And Robert's like, so how old are you? And I was like, oh my God, I knew this was coming up and I couldn't lie. I was like, I'm 22. Yeah. And immediately there was concern and I was like, well, oh, well, but Ashley was like, no, it's fine. So-and-so, and she was 14 at the time.
Wow.
I think she was 14. And I was a little bit nervous about that because I knew that it was sort of like a love interest and my brother is the same age as the twins. And so I didn't know how that was going to work, but obviously I was a professional and I took it serious, my work. And so I was going to make it work. But Ashley, like right away, like she was so kind and sweet and also very mature for her age, like a little old soul that I immediately, even though like we didn't even know each other yet, I felt really comfortable with her. And so as she was talking about someone else was so much older or something, I don't know who she was referencing or whatever. I actually, maybe she said, I didn't even listen. I was so nervous. And then finally, like, and they're like, okay, great. You know what? Bye. Left the meeting. And I think by the time I got home, I got the call that I had the job from my manager.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, so it was cool. It was really fun. It was really cool.
This is I don't know if you noticed this, but was it like Ashley casting her boyfriend? Like, did it feel like that because she was driving it?
Well, in hindsight, yes. Yeah. I mean, like that was the hard part that's what's crazy about the whole thing because, they were the executive producers on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, and you knew that, but they were, I don't know if they were purposefully a little bit discreet or what the dynamic was, but you never felt like they never talked down to you or made you feel like, I don't know, you just felt like you were part of the cast and that they were cast, but then they were making certain decisions and you knew it, but they were so kind and so normal.
Yeah.
Very sweet people.
Yeah.
Funny. They laughed at my jokes. Let's just be honest. That was great.
That's so cool.
Whatever anyone does, never laugh at my jokes because it never ends. But they were so fun. Like I really enjoyed them. Yeah, it was great. Great experience.
That's great. Amazing. So you get the part, and then what were your expectations of what the movie was going to be?
Wow. Yeah. I think the expectations, like I was super excited, first of all, because it seemed like this was going to be such a dynamic role. Like, it's like the guy that did everything. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm always up for that challenge, because it was so cool. He was supposed to be so cool, whatever. And I'm not cool at all. So I don't, whatever.
Well,
but
you did a really good job at being cool. Like you were so cool in that.
No.
He was the coolest boyfriend in that movie, but then you also took it over the edge just being the coolest.
Yeah.
Well, I am sure that I could find a handful of people that would disagree with you. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, it was cool. But my expectations, I think I was so focused on doing my job and being professional and doing being the best that I could as an actor and bringing justice to, I took, all my roles so seriously when I was acting. So I didn't, my first role was with Tony Award winning actors. And then I went, on such a huge set next with Pearl Harbor and such a jarring experience between directors. And now I was working, on sort of all I knew was it would probably be that people liked these girls. I was kind of removed from it, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because then I didn't really have expectations of it. Because I didn't follow their movies or anything, but I knew who they were.
Yeah.
From when they were babies.
And you hadn't seen one of their movies before this?
No. Yeah. And my sister, I think, may have, but she didn't. She thought it was great. She thought it was super cool. And yeah, she was excited. She was super excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess I didn't know, and that was great that I didn't really know. I just wanted to be the best that I could and bring the justice to, I think, prepare and knock them dead, I guess. But every young actor is that way. So I don't really know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How, like, what was the actual experience filming and like how, first let's start with that. What was that like? What was being on set
that
like?
was amazing.
Yeah.
Once I got there, I really realized like, oh, okay, this is a really big deal in their world. Like, and that I was having to like do all of these things. And that like, I was so focused, like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm not going to sing. Like, this is a nightmare. Like, you know, they were like, cause they knew they already, whether I think I could sing or not, they were already planning on me lip syncing because they already had this.
That was one of our big questions. Was that so you singing?
Oh, which was like crazy, and that's a whole thing in itself, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so I had to like learn how to play the guitar as soon as I landed. Like it was like, you know, I had meetings to rehearse with this band and they taught me how to play the guitar. And then I was also taking diving lessons, and I'm super comfortable in the water. Like, and I had just come off of Pearl Harbor and I had to take diving lessons for that too. Wow. Even though I've been a swimmer in my whole life, even though that's not the same.
But you're doing some pretty intense diving.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you know, for a person that's never done it, and then all of a sudden, like I'm with sharks, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
They had to take out they made sure, we had to take out, the girls didn't tell me this, but the producers were like, yeah, we had to take out a really large insurance deal over you and to get in this tank. And so
I mean, that makes sense.
I enjoyed every bit of it, you know, in that preparation, but like, I also was so trying to be professional and, you know, I was so focused, like, you know, these girls are so kind and sweet, but trying to also remind myself, you know, they're very young and they're also my boss. So it was a fine line. It was just, but they made it very easy for me. So I had to learn the music. I had to do all this stuff. I think the craziest one, the most stressful thing that I had to do, I think was expertly feather the boat up to the yacht. I mean, come on.
You actually had to do that?
Oh, you guys, that freaked me out because I was so worried about hitting the yacht because they rented a yacht.
You had to steer a boat and park it next to a yacht in real life, but you didn't have to sing.
Expertly feather.
That's a really good point.
To this yacht. And I was like, I remember like, okay, I've got these meetings, I've got it all laid out. I'm learning how to play the guitar. And then, you know, I have my diving lessons and all this stuff. And then I kept going back and being like, okay, yeah, like, do you know when someone's going to teach me how to drive a boat? You know, is there a way to practice? I'm like, yes, we totally will. You're going to be able to do it. But, you know, it's kind of unrealistic because there's so many moving parts to making a film, you guys know, like, and so, you know, I think literally like 10 minutes before they're like, okay, you ready to learn? And I'm like, oh my God. And so I don't remember what we did. Like, it was like, I think I blocked it out, but it was scary to get the boat up to the yacht. It was kind of like we had to fake it. And Austin, one of the other actors, Austin Nichols, had to help me with it. And wow, that was pretty lame and very funny. But I feel like I might have bumped the boat or the yacht, but there was no damage and nobody was hurt. And
that's good.
How could they expect you not to bump the boat? Like that's on that. Maybe
they may have, and you know, like
that's why the insurance.
Who knows? Who knows? But from my perspective, I'm like, you know, because I was just trying to do my job and do the best, you know, that I could. And actually, my Jamie Rose from that film, who's an incredible actress and ended up being my acting coach for many years. She's so incredible, and she plays the twins' mom. I love her. She was telling me, I remember being there and she was like trying to calm me down. She's like, look, I had to drive the getaway car in a movie. God. And it was a stick shift, and she goes, Ben, I've been there, like,
oh my God,
last minute, oh yeah, we're gonna train you, in the last minute they're like, okay, you ready for your lesson? And
Oh my
and she
God.
couldn't get it, so she had to she could only get reverse, and so they had to rewrite it so the getaway car was going in reverse.
Oh my
that's
God.
so funny.
So it made me feel better. But
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
So she's like, no, this is normal. This happens. And I didn't tell the girls that or anything. I was trying to be cool, and I was not cool. Every time I try to be cool, I learned very quickly that you're not going to be cool. I will fall on the face. But yeah, it was fun. It ended up working out. Yeah, with the feathering of the boat. And no, I've never driven a boat since. So
why would you?
Funny.
It's probably super traumatic.
I thought for sure you were going to be like, oh, the scene I remember the most is when I had to blend a fish.
That was, why did you have to do that? That was disgusting. So just for the record, Lanny and I just rewatched this last night. So it is all very, very, very fresh for us. So
I'm so scared for you. Well, no, I'm just playing. I
love this movie dearly.
Why did you have to do that?
You know, it's weird. I have had seafood. I've had the freshest seafood all over the world, including then. The girls rented an island for the weekend one time, and for the cast, and then chartered everyone on this yacht to the. I mean, who does that to the island for the week? For that day or something. But anyway, we even dove and
put a pin in that.
Fresh conch or whatever, conch fish in the shell. Had fresh lobster and shrimp or something, but even then I'm just not a seafood guy at all, so I'm shocked that I did that with the seafood or with the fish. But they used that, they trained me because I
trained to do so many
things. You remember from last night, I also worked at the Atlantis.
Oh, of course. Your job also was you seemed like the only employee at the Atlantis. They're like, Jordan, you have to feed the sharks. Jordan, you have to put tanning oil on Megan Fox. Jordan, you have to clean up the vomit. Are there any other I thought you were a marine biologist.
Oh, I totally was. I was studying for that. Seriously, I was secretly living a dream world. And here I was working at Shutters on the Beach Hotel this whole time.
That's true.
I was also working at a hotel. So I was that came so natural for me.
Oh my God.
So anyway.
That's so funny.
But so with when I had to blend up the fish, that was literally to feed the manta ray. The large
for real life. Yeah.
So I think I could do that because I knew, because I was such a serious actor. I mean, I thought, oh, this is so great. I'm really doing it as part of the thing. But that was crazy. Yeah. And it freaked me out big time.
Well, that was my question. In rewatching it, it seemed like her reactions were completely genuine.
She's even kind of looking at other crew members.
Yeah,
there's a part where, she's just it just feels so real.
Montage all of that together.
Yes. There are a lot of montages in this movie.
There are a lot of those types of scenes. I was going to ask, how many of the scenes that you had, was it okay, you guys just go hang out and do stuff and we're going to film it and montage it together? Was that how it went?
Well, some of the stuff the swimming.
Yeah. Midnight swimming scene, iconic.
Yeah. And on the jet skis, seriously, as a young actor, you need to always be ready for them to put something in slow motion.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Because I'm telling you, if I would have known I was going to be in slow motion, I don't think that I would have made any of these corny faces that I was making, or I don't know. But I can't
perfect though.
I can't watch myself. I can pick it. We don't take ourselves too serious in this house. And growing up, we self-deprecate, so it's just that's how it goes. But they just kind of had us goof off and with the swimming a little bit, when we were actually in the tank with some of the sharks and stuff, it was choreographed somewhat, as far as you will go this way and you'll go down and whatever. But the other stuff they just filmed, I think. The activity stuff, I'm trying to remember what else they did.
I mean, the jet
where they added that scene, I think they added it on about me in the jail.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then I was like, oh, this is so cool. I'm going to end up in jail. Like
all of those shots, I would love to know your thoughts on those.
Like,
that
what?
was like a fashion campaign. Like that was just like the most dramatic, like black and white. For anyone who hasn't seen this movie,
was it in black and white?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, like the third
shadows and stuff. Yeah.
The third act of the film is basically like
a new
movie, but basically like everyone discovers that there's like that Jordan, played by Ben, has been helping this guy smuggle antiquities, but he didn't know about it. But Mary-Kate and Ashley have to prove that to the Bahamas police and save the Bahamas. So Jordan is in jail and they have to get him out of jail. And while they're doing that, we cut to all these shots of Ben, like just
so we can remember what he's going through while they're having to save him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's in jail.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Cool
Still in jail.
He's in the
Still
most
in jail.
Beautiful, gorgeous fashion, like high fashion, just like cover, like just
the light is hitting him just perfect.
So gorgeous, like black and white. Like that was so
beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, thank you. Too kind. it was fun. It was fun. I laughed because, I was so committed.
Yeah.
I mean, professionally, it was fun and I took it so serious what I was doing. And, but I just laugh now, it's so embarrassing, but it's cool.
When's the last time you've seen the movie?
Oh, are you kidding? I can't tell you the last time I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay. In all honesty, I think recently, like in the last year, I tried to get our kids to watch it. And they haven't even seen it. My partner hasn't seen it. Kids haven't seen it, which is probably great.
Oh no, that's going to be such a good experience. They all need to.
They have to see it.
Or it might scare everyone.
I mean, that's okay too,
Our son kind of was on a period with Xenon when I did that stuff. And so he kind of was obsessed with Xenon Z3 when I was out. But I've tried to say Hayden, you should watch this movie. This is more up your alley. It's not I'm not in space. I'm at the Atlantis.
Yeah, I'm at the Atlantis Hotel.
It's just kind of I was in space basically. Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah. Well, I do want to ask just on that note, how much, because I know you're a photographer now and you have beautiful I looked at your website. Yeah,
we'll link it in the show notes so everyone can look at it.
So
yeah, you're truly a really, really incredible artist. It's really, really beautiful. And we're curious, this is jumping forward a bit, but since you mentioned your family, I'm curious, your relationship with acting now and how much your kids, know about that or care about that, or if it feels kind of just a different chapter of your life, or if you're, what are you up to with that now?
It's crazy. I thank you for the kind words. With our work. I love my job. I love photography so much. I originally wanted to be a painter growing up, and I loved acting so much. And I've been so obsessed with movies since I was a little kid. Watching Turner Classic Movies with my mom and things like that, and which I do with our kids now. Turner Classic Movies is always on. I am obsessed with movies and storytelling and documentaries. I'm obsessed with, but I'm preaching to the choir. And that was just kind of an outlet that. I kind of fell into that acting, and it worked and everything. And I discovered photography later on, and it made sense. I think telling the story is more interesting to me than, being somewhat of a puppet, which I don't mean in a derogatory way, but
it can feel like that.
Picture. Yeah. Now I kind of took the indefinite hiatus from acting. I've, read scripts and I will always be in love with it in the process of character development and storytelling and, charting out your you know, the emotion and the arc of your character and in the whole process. I could go on for days about that. And those opportunities. I don't miss the lifestyle of being an actor, and especially a closeted actor. Which is really, I think, was a really hard thing at the time, because it was, you know, kind of, there was a lot of support from my team of people, but not, you know, sort of like, yeah, but, you know, it's not a great time to come out. You know, I mean, it wasn't appropriate. So I think that wasn't super exciting, being an actor in the closet at the time.
Of course.
And it wasn't as exciting. So when I had the opportunity to step behind the camera when I was working on a project in the south of France, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what this is about. Like this is everything I want, and then some. And so it just happened that way. And I just got so busy. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm moving back to LA. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go back. And I just never did. And I go back there and work and stuff, but I couldn't do both. And I had to choose. And that's hard, but I love photography so much that it's just a different part of my life. Like, it's more important to me. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's great.
Well, I think it seems like you're very into like authenticity and like expression. And I feel like, as someone who also is like queer, like I understand like, like having to be, not be able to express yourself in a job where you do want to be expressing yourself. So I totally understand the constraints of that. And I mean, you are, again, like such a talented photographer, and it is very clear that, like, you know, it's not just like weddings or whatever, which also is fine, but like there's so much like artistry, and like I love the ones with the animals and like the like the fake animals and everything, the animal heads, and like it's really cool, like seeing that.
Well, that's amazing. Like, I guess and I didn't realize during the time, but you know, now that you've mentioned that, I remember feeling like, well, in hindsight, you know, I spent so many years, even before acting, like being what everyone else wanted me to be, or what I needed to be to make it through, that like acting was the next thing for me to do that I could be good at, because I had spent my whole life like kind of just being whatever character I needed to just get through. And you know, and I don't see myself as a victim at all. So, but it was, you know, it's hard. And I think I just realized, I reached a point where, you know, it wasn't a conscious thing, like I'm done. You know, I had my moments where I'm like, I'm done with acting. And I wasn't, clearly. Just living the LA life and trying to make it as an actor, and just, you know, it was so hard, and it was great and wonderful too. But I couldn't be myself, and I was sick of being everyone else and all of these characters. And then I also didn't have that outlet of being myself. So, you know, but we live in a much different time, you know, so I don't know.
The early 2000s were quite the time.
I feel like it was like a time that was just like this, like everything coming to a head of just like like, I don't know, just like it was so hard for women. It was so hard to be like so many different ways of being, and then it all just kind of like started to crumble. But like that feels like everything with like Britney Spears and just like Mary-Kate and Ashley, just like everything, it just like
also felt like there's such a huge denial at that time that like, oh, we're over misogyny, we're over racism, we're over homophobia, we're over everything.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it's people thought that in 2001, and it's but
people thought that in the 90s. Like,
any idea how recent history things are? And so
I know
it's crazy. Like that's exactly right. And I remember feeling that, but then really at the end of the day, it was like, you know, do you want this career or not? I think that just created a lot of turmoil for me. You know?
Understandably.
But it was a perfect thing. It was a perfect transition. And I think I really bonded with the girls too, in some way, because they were such strong people. Like they were, you know, they would go from being like young and their age and sweet and goofy and, you know, to being really strong, bold women.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like they would just go between, and they were, and so professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so that was really cool to see, especially now looking back, like what an interesting opportunity to like witness, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
regularly, like often, you know, and so I think that we bonded through art, and maybe, you know, I didn't ever come out to them, but I'm sure they knew, you know, I'm sure they knew. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Can we hear about the private island getaway with the cast?
Oh yeah, I mean,
now that you're talking about getting to know them and everything.
Yeah, I know, that was so weird. And I was like, what? Yeah, and then like I remember I was late. I don't know. I think I'm sorry. I probably had to like learn how to play the guitar or something. I don't know. But yeah, I was late to the thing and to the island, and it was a whole afternoon, and the whole cast was invited, and we all went, and I think Megan and her mom were there, and like, yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it was surreal.
Yeah.
You know?
What did you guys do?
Like, I think you guys, okay, I'm a nerd, but I think now that I remember, I think I was like off taking pictures by myself. Like I see photos,
that
like
shows you where you're about to go later.
Yeah.
It was so weird. But and then we like, I think we went diving for conch and like lobster or something, and then we had like a grill out on the island, and we just kind of like goofed around the whole day.
That's so cool.
And then rode back in the sunset, and it was just like ridiculous. But they always like were having like, you know, inviting the cast to do things and stuff, and that was really generous. And I knew that at the time, like as an actor, like, you know,
it's not typical to do that at all.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, there's organized, you know, things that happen, you know, to spend time and get to know people, but it wasn't like, it never felt forced or anything. It was just very laid back and genuine and sincere and laid back, you know?
Did it feel? Go on.
I was just gonna say, was this after you wrapped, or was this like a bonding thing you did before?
Oh my God! I think this was like in the beginning. Like when we all got there, yeah, it like happened pretty fast. But then it was happening throughout the filming too, like different random things. You know,
it's amazing.
It was amazing. And did I even finish the story about like having to tell my age?
But you said that you were 22, and Ashley said, I think that should be fine. And
yeah, she was basically like, she was basically like telling Robert, like, no, it's cool. And I think that kind of broke the ice immediately. So I felt super comfortable with him right away. Like every other time, like once we were there and stuff, because I don't know if my friend Billy, I don't know if he met them yet or until he was there or what, but we've never talked about that.
Are you still friends with him? He's the one who played
yes, I love
Scott.
Billy. Yep.
So, that's amazing.
Okay,
yeah,
we see each other all the time. Yeah.
Cool.
Time,
does he live in LA or?
Well, he goes in between LA and Chicago, and his family's in Omaha, so
okay, cool.
You know, he'll come out. I'm based in Des Moines, Iowa, where I'm from. He was from Iowa too, and I remember the makeup I remember being in makeup the first day, and they're like, oh, there's another guy from Iowa here. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And so I was so nervous, and I met him, and it was so awesome. And we've been really close ever since. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I noticed, obviously, as a fan, like you were obviously in So Little Time, and he was in So Little Time, and he was in Getting There. So what was that like? Did you guys all kind of become friends, and then they just kept using the same people? Like how did that's just so cool. Like, what was that?
Well, yeah, I mean, we became friends, but I think like it's funny because I can't remember. I mean, we would hang out, the girls and I, here and there. And I remember once Ashley came to Shutters to visit me.
Oh my
That's so
God.
Yeah, and
nice.
they were like
That's so
super
nice.
cool, and like their security would just sit, because they really wanted a normal life, and they worked
Yeah.
really hard to have a semi-normal life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Their parents went out of their way to do all of that and stuff. But then like when I would get offered a job, or or like with so little time, the producers called me. It was, so it was very professional. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, do you want to be on the show that we're working on?
Right. Yeah.
And so, and I look back and I'm like, wow, that was amazing. Like that's,
Mhm.
you don't think about that as much when you're really young and you're,
Yeah.
sub it and everything. But Billy and I were good friends. And I remember being on set with the girls, and on so little time, and we were just laughing, or we were talking about Billy or something. And they were like, oh my gosh, we miss Billy. And then before you know, like he was on the show.
And then the next
That was
week he's
fun.
there.
That was fun.
That's so funny.
That was so much fun because, like I was such a rule follower. I've broken so many rules in my lifetime. Like I try not to break many. I'm seriously like an old man. But I remember, so I, had my own parking place at, on the lot at Universal, and for all this time while we're shooting, and Billy was like, dude, have you been to Universal Studios? And I'm like, no, I did not go to Universal Studios, you guys. Who the hell? And he's like, well, you can just walk right in through the side entrance. Why don't we do it? So I think it was the last week that we were doing that. We snuck in from the lot. Like we were so nervous and everything was so amazing. Yeah, like we all had so much fun all the time. Like we were all really close. It was
That's so fun.
it was a blessing. It was cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like when they made these events, when they brought you to the island and like wanted to hang out, like did it feel like they were like those were them as executive producers putting something nice together for the cast, or did it feel like them as like teenagers where this is where they can meet people and hang out because this is their life? Like did they also just wanted to socialize with people their age?
That's a really good question, and it's so crazy because I never thought of that. Which they did such a good job about making it so seamless, and that they're so genuine that it never felt like they were executive producers or that they were professional, and you knew they were producers. And sometimes they would talk about, let's do this or whatever. It was clear that they were in charge, but they allowed everyone to do their job so effortlessly, like directors and producers. So it was never like them in one role or the other.
Yeah.
Does that even answer your question?
That makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
It was just sort of like, hey, the girls are, they didn't say, oh, we will be renting an island this weekend. Would you like to join? It was
right. Yeah. I guess I don't think of it. I'm like, I wonder, I've always wondered this just as a fan of theirs, if, how they made friends, and like if this was like part of the fantasy too, was just like the people that they cast in their movies, like were they friends with them, and like when they recurred in other projects, was it because they hung out with them and they liked to like see them around and like people like you?
Well, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. Like all I can say, we all want to work with good people, and people that we like and that we're safe with, and that, I'm sure there's a level of that, like obviously, I'm not sure if they were friends with or who they were friends with or not. But yeah, I'm sure that they wanted to keep working with people that they felt safe with, because they couldn't really do much. Like they went to school, they worked hard to have somewhat of that normal life of going to prom and having all of this stuff go on. But I even would witness it and be kind of part of it sometimes, unintentionally, of the craziness, and it freaked me out. Like even if we would go to meet just for dinner or something, and you have to go in one way and you meet separately and then you exit separately, and even that, being this Iowa guy, kind of freaked me out. But I was so I guess is, you know, even being a dad now, like, I'm just so impressed with how they did it. But they also grew up as babies into that world. So it was effortless for them. But they were so sweet and normal. And like, I remember seeing them, you know, once after knowing them and spending time with them and then seeing them in the public eye. Like I remember once they were texting with Ashley while she was on Good Morning America, and kind of like sweet and like goofing off or something. I don't know, like she changed her hair or something. And they're just such sweet people, normal, more normal than many. And I noticed that, you know, in LA with most, you know, successful actors and stuff, like the more successful, the more professional and the more normal people were. And so like, that was kind of cool. And I really appreciated that about them, you know, especially being thrust into like such a crazy world, you know, not being able to do anything or go anywhere. And I know that created a lot of stress, as anyone could expect, on them, you know, personally.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I call Ashley grandma because she's kind of an introvert like myself, you know. We're outgoing, but you know, I get my energy from being, you know, alone and, you know, kind of a homebody. Kind of nerdy that way, but like, I think, we were a lot alike in that aspect. And so, yeah.
I mean, if you were texting while she was on Good Morning America, you were friends. Like,
we were. I mean, we've lost touch, but it's sort of to like, you know, they're in a totally different world. And they continue to like propel in that direction. And, you know, if we ran into each other, we would, I'm sure, you know, it would be goofy and, you know, fun, but, you know, like you kind of pick up where you leave off. And, you know, I just, you know, we have different times in our life, but I will always treasure, you know, our friendship and our bond that we had over the years, you know?
Yeah. Did you get a sense that they enjoyed what they were doing and they wanted to be in that world? Because I know now, obviously, they're in a completely different industry and they're like really intentionally out of the spotlight. And it's also very hard to find these films. Like this film was only available on Amazon for $15 or on Apple. On Apple. Yeah. So I'm curious, like what you think about that, like where they're at now and like, how they felt about it at the time.
Well,
Does it surprise you?
I am so proud of them because, you know, I never got the feeling ever that they were not happy and they were not fulfilled or anything like that. Like they were always they seemed very honest and, you know, about things, but like they were so professional. I never felt like they were unhappy or anything. I do know that it can be a struggle when you are in a position where you have that much fame, and you know the amount of money that you have is all over everywhere, and you're a teenager. That's overwhelming. And like even if you grew up in that, and that can cause some friction and stuff, especially when, you know, you're trying to still act and grow as an actress, right? And people are like, you're wonderful, and they're not, and you're like sincerely trying to be better, and no one's like coming out and saying, no, you should do it this way, or I want you to do this way,
right?
So I know that was kind of a challenge a little bit here and there, but in all honesty, like I know that like Ashley, you know, I can't speak for Mary Kate directly, but you know, obviously
we were closer with Ashley.
We're twins. And not because we worked in the film, we just kind of like bonded more at the time. And she was in love with fashion. And so, you know, they kind of humored me with art and stuff. And when I say humor, I mean, they humored me and did not make me feel bad about the ridiculous shirt that I made that they let me wear in the movie.
Which shirt? You
Which
made
shirt?
it?
God, yes.
You made
The
a shirt in
shirt.
Holiday in the Sun?
Well, you guys, I'm telling you, I was like, oh, I want to be an artist and everything. And I made that ugly shirt that I was wearing in the first scene
Wait, I don't even remember.
with Frida Kahlo on it. And so my manager at the time, she was a producer and she produced, she had a script with Selma Hayek for Frida. And, and that was like her pride and joy at the time. And I was just so like into art and everything and like expressing myself on the side. And that was something they're like, oh, cool. No, wear it. And I remember, and yes, I did make them shirts that I did. You guys, I'm mortified. And I'm telling you, we never talked about it again. Like, why did we not talk about it? But in hindsight, they were basically like horrible crop tops that I made with Frida on them. And they
all had Frida, everything had Frida on it.
The fact that they even humored me after that, like, is so ridiculous.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so
You don't have a picture.
I just remember that.
Yeah, do you have any pictures of
today.
that? Like of their shirt? They didn't wear it in the movie. They didn't wear it, right?
Are you kidding?
I don't know. They let you wear
No one-
yours?
Exactly. Let him hang himself. No.
Oh my God.
No, they were like basically the same shirt as mine, only a crop top.
Oh my God.
And you know that material? Can you imagine? Like,
I'm trying to picture the shirt. Like I'm trying to picture that shirt in the first scene.
Do yourself a favor. and
Okay. That's so amazing.
But anyway, like they
So
were
funny.
so sweet. Like, because it was their birthday. And so
Oh, it was? On the
They
shoot?
filmed,
thought
Laney,
that
we
they
just
needed
talked
some
about this.
artwork.
They filmed on their birthday every year.
Every single year, because they filmed a movie every
Oh.
year, and they always filmed on their birthday because it was always in the summer.
Yeah.
so crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. So they turned 15.
Did you do anything for their birthday?
I don't remember. I'm sure we did. I think we had like probably a little birthday party or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't believe they
kind of like
turned
did stuff all the
15 during
time.
this. Yeah. Oh, I just said I can't believe they turned 15 during this because I feel like their characters were so
Mature.
like I felt like they're like 17 at least, and like
Totally.
they're 14. That's just like
I know. And it was
That's so
crazy because
crazy.
even filming, like they would be sometimes 14, like not 14, like, yeah, immature. I mean, like 14, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're fun and sweet and cool and whatever. And then they would all of a sudden, you would be like, oh wow, they were like old souls.
Businesswoman.
yeah.
Yeah, like businesswoman to the max. Like, for example, when Jill would come in or we would be just all hanging out, like talking about dumb stuff when you're a teenager, you know, like I was 22, basically 16, 22. I was not, you know, but we would be just talking about whatever teenager stuff and goofing off and being dumb. And then all of a sudden they're on the phone, like quickly talking about like huge business decisions that were crazy. You know what I mean? And then you just kind of, and it would just be, it wasn't like in your face. It was always discreet and just a way of life, but
Yeah.
professional and sweet. And it was just really interesting to imagine like how they managed that. And it just blows my mind, you know?
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
You know what? We would be remiss if we did not talk about the story you hinted at earlier of Shades in the Sun or Shades of Love.
Shades of Love.
You said that there was a whole story there, and I just can't let this interview end without you telling the story.
Well, I don't know if it's an exciting story, but like, I don't know, like, before preparing for that, I remember being so nervous, and I just made sure that, because they were going to do it, I think they had a ton of extras or something there. They were doing it on the property, and I was freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot see. I'm basically like, I have bad eyes. So I purposely did not wear my contacts. So I did not have to make eye contact with anyone. And I made sure that they played that music loud because so I could sing. So I was singing along with it. So it felt real, you know, because I was there and I was throwing myself into it.
It looks like it's you.
Well, I mean, it kind of ended up, I did the best that I could at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it worked, but it also like made people think that I sang it. And so that was really hard because I'll still get like emails and letters and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, the song you sang." I'm just,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Like,
It really did seem like you were singing though, because I think that is a different, like if you're lip syncing, it does seem fake, but if you're really singing, even if it's not,
I mean,
your
I get,
voice,
I kind of like whatever,
Yeah.
tried my hardest to kind of do that stuff, and
Mm.
but we all laughed about it. Like we were laughing and like, this is so goofy and stuff. Like we didn't take ourselves serious.
Mhm.
And we joked around about it. Like,
Mhm.
all of a sudden I had this really deep, cool voice, singing
Yeah.
voice that clearly I don't have.
Doesn't seem
And
that
that's probably why
clear.
my kids won't watch anything.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? They won't watch this. I've tried to tell my son, he's, watch it. No, he's not into it.
That's so funny.
Do you know who sang it?
Well, what's really funny is I think the band is called Empty Trash.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
What? Why would you name your band? I know
Well,
what. We love you.
I felt like it was like, I remember talking to the producers at the time and they're like, oh, they have a new band and they're calling it Empty Trash, but it was like a really cool older band and I cannot remember it. I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but I swear it was like a really cool 80s band. And I was totally into 80s music because there was a point before I went into this. When I was young, I wanted to be a DJ so bad. I wanted to like,
You've had so many dreams.
I mean, like, what was wrong with me? And I secretly still want to be a DJ. Don't tell anyone. But
we're gonna do
Putting it out
another
there.
interview with you 20 years from now.
I could totally in another life. I would want to be a DJ.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it worked out, and I was just so worried that they would like, I would go to sing and the music would not come on, and then I would be singing. I was getting mortified by it, but it worked out fine, and whatever.
Yeah. So I have a question about, so it's been 20 years since this movie came out. This is one of those movies that is really, I don't know how aware you are of this, but like, it's one of those like cultural like phenomenon for like girls, women our age. And it's like one of those things that gets like memed or like is on those like Instagram accounts that are like,
Here's what time it is.
Yeah, like there's a lot of
Like, you're a
stuff
meme.
from you're a meme sometimes, and like in the best way. But like, is that weird for you? And how much are you
weird.
aware of that? Yeah,
I mean, I'm still like, I'm always still a little bit like, oh my God, surprised and a little bit embarrassed, but just because I'm a little shy.
Yeah.
But I'm totally feel lucky, I guess. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Part of that. And yes, I'm always surprised, and yes, it still happens. And but yeah, I'm shocked by that. And I guess I'm so removed from it to a degree.
Yeah.
Like, but it still happens. It happens in weird places. I don't know.
Do people like contact you? Like, They do.
Yeah, they do. And that's a hard thing with my business too, because I am like, have to kind of like not be available just to anybody, you know what I mean? Which I hate doing, but at the same time, it's hard for me to filter just because and I'm shocked like that I still do, but I get, a lot of like random stuff and sometimes some creepy stuff. And sometimes we're like, wow, okay, this was like this is like a kid movie,
Yeah, kid movie from 20
but
years ago.
I love it because the generations are growing, and and like everyone's grown up, and so are growing up, and so it's funny and cool, and it's an honor. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun part of my life. Like I was young and starting off in the world, and so lucky to be able to have these experiences, let alone for work. And it was incredible. But yes, it still happens. And I guess I'm proud now, maybe more than ever, being gay and being out and like having a family and with that voice and especially with the Me Too movement and seeing how far ahead of times, even if they were kind of put into that role that they were putting into children, they have such wonderful parents that really sincerely care about them. And it wasn't a situation like they were, from my standpoint, from what I saw, personally, so it was like, even if they left that part of the industry or whatever, they really had such huge roles. Especially now I see it, and they were ahead of their time. And that's kind of it. That to me makes me very proud to know them, and to like, to have had, the opportunity to have a connection with truly special people that are very passionate and have the skill on so many levels, business and the talent of with art and the appreciation of all art and design. Like, it's incredible. I'm sorry, Ricky. I'm sorry, one of my dogs is kind of growling.
Oh, I can't even hear it.
So I don't know if I'm just kind of going off on a tangent. Pardon
No,
me.
this is, I mean, honestly, this is exactly what we're doing, like why we're doing this podcast. Like, I think we both feel like they were ahead of their time, and that they were so skilled and so smart, and they did this from a young age. And I think the time when they were doing their thing, it was like they were respected and they had fans, but they also, I don't know if they were taken as seriously as they should have been.
Oh, you know what?
Not by mainstream media.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like, you guys are dead on. Like, and that's why maybe it's exciting now. And that's why, like, now I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, because I never did any interviews when I was younger and stuff. And I was so scared of like it being turned into something else, or there'd be a negative spin. And I felt kind of protective over that. And then being in the closet on top of it, it's just really too much for me.
Yeah.
But then now, like, this sort of shift that's happened, I'm like completely supportive of it, and honored to be. I'm definitely not part of that, but to have that view of that during that time period, and how cool is that, and important. They weren't really taking that serious. They were, obviously, when it came down to dollars,
right?
Really. And I think that's kind of hard too. But they were very, like, I would see it in the press, they were very guarded. As naturally, like, can you imagine? Of course they're going to be guarded, but they were. I felt like sometimes I would be like, when people would ask about them, I would always be like, no, this is not even who they are. They're the sweetest, funniest people. Like, if I can be, and I don't even open up that much to a lot of people, over the years, because I'm shy, I definitely was when I was younger, even more so. They were totally confident and in their skin at the same time. And that's amazing to witness, and especially in hindsight, I remember even so little time when the show was over. And I kind of felt like there was some friction, maybe, that a lot of people didn't want the show to be over.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The girls did. And I was feeling it on set, and I was kind of brought in to, I didn't realize that I was being asked to kind of, I was kind of put in a tough spot. I wasn't part of certain meetings, and the girls were either. And then I was asked to kind of like talk to the girls. And I remember, but I didn't realize that.
That's bad.
But I think it was natural. Like, it wasn't a it was definitely, in hindsight, it didn't make me feel comfortable, but I did not feel like there was, I think people just they were having such a wonderful time they didn't want the show to end. But I realized and respected quickly when the girls were like, and they were very generous and loving about it. We're ready for a new chapter. And I was like, and even now as an adult looking back, like, first of all, how generous to say that to me when I'm, having this friendship, but still coming and saying like, oh, so, are you sure this is what you want to do? And an idiot kind of like, going into it, because normally I wouldn't do that. And then still being so sweet about it and saying, no, yeah, this is what we're doing. We have other things we want to do. And being generous and sweet to me about it too was amazing. it was like very like so mature, you know?
Yeah. I don't think I could have ever made a decision like that at 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. Especially if everyone around you is like pressuring you to do it, and to just like
can't
listen to
imagine.
yourself and just be like, no, this is right. It probably helped them to have each other throughout all of this, to like go through all of this together and like, you know, have each other. Yeah. Support
100%. 100%. And yeah, they had and I'm sure they still have, I hope they do, you know, a very tight knit group of or support system around them that, you know, and that's beautiful and so important. And I that made me feel so good too, always, you know, because I couldn't help but naturally feel somewhat protective. You know, I mean, here I was a lot older, but not much, but enough that there was a difference. And my little brother was their age. So
yeah, I was about to say, you probably felt like a big brother.
Yeah.
And I felt comfortable, like, to be myself somewhat. You know, I wasn't out to anybody. You know, and I'm sure Ashley knew. I'm sure she knew. Oh my God, if you look at some of this stuff, oh geez.
I mean, if you brought, I have a new shirt on the first set. Like,
like I made shirts for.
I gotta see. I hope that shirt's been burned somewhere.
No, I hope it hasn't. I hope you mail it to me.
I hope they burned their shirts.
Oh my
their
God.
crop tops. You guys, I don't even know if it would be considered what is a crop top?
It's just a top.
No.
Was it a bra? It was a bra.
They were a sports bras. Not even. They were straight.
Was it like a bando?
They were straight up bandos.
It was just like a strapless bra.
Just a strap over.
So basically you gave them
zero support.
Just a strip of fabric sewn into a circle. And you said, you're welcome. Please wear this for fashion.
And now they're the top luxury brand.
Yeah, now they're like huge fashion designers.
Gigi Hadid wears their stuff.
In all respects,
funny.
Fruit of the Loom or something like. I mean, like really.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Imagine. Okay, yeah.
Do you remember who it was that asked you to have that conversation with them?
I can't remember who it was, but I remember. Oh my God, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for even saying that, but I remember it was one of the producers, and I was kind of in surprise because I didn't know that they had a meeting with the cast and I was not invited. I think that really hurt my feelings and made me feel alienated as a cast, but it was also at the end too. And I was not even part of the cast. I was technically I was just, you know, brought on
guest recurring.
Yeah. And you know, but yeah, there was definitely a dynamic there, and it was a wonderful set, and like it was great, and I just think it was a really hard thing for everyone to let go of, because it was magic working with them. It was magic working with them. Like we goofed. I am professional all the time on whenever I was on set, always. Like almost somewhat guarded a little bit with them. Like I was so comfortable. I was like, we would goof off and laugh, and it was hard to keep a straight face a lot of the times. And it was like fun. It was so much fun. So, but that was the environment for everyone. And I remember even for my friend Taylor, my heart breaks that we lost Taylor Negron, but he played Manny on So Little Time. And like he also like, it was such a gift to even be able to work with him, because he was so professional and such an incredible actor.
He's done a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And he was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life, even to this day. And generous and loving and generous as an actor and as a peer and as a mentor and all of those things. And being a man who's out, you know, or who was out and proud and gay and all of that. And I'm surprised I never told him about that, but I just am remembering that. But yeah, I mean, it was great on set. Everything was great. But I'm impressed and proud with how the girls handled that, you know. It really shows you the old souls that they are, and that because they could have easily been rude or to everyone or anyone, and it was subtle and very respectful and mature.
Yeah,
that's like, what a weird line, because you're a young actor, you're a young artist, and you're trying to grow, and then you figure out this isn't working for yourself. Like the show isn't actually getting you where you want to go. It's not what you want right now. And then to have to tell all of these adults around you that we actually don't, like, we want to personally grow and we want to value that. And we hope you do as well. Like that is such a huge thing. That's, again, like, even as an adult, as a 32-year-old woman,
exactly.
Such a hard thing to do.
Even more so, like even more so with age and like all of it. But it just blows my mind, because I guess I've not really thought about it since then, or in a long time. And and it was they were gentle. You know, that's a big deal. Like that's not easy, you know, to handle situations like that, especially when you are the ones that are employing a huge crew of people. To be so giving like that. But anyway,
no, that's amazing. We have to ask, not that this is on topic with anything we're talking about, but you worked with Megan Fox.
Oh yeah, we've touched on that.
How was that working with her, and how did it feel to kind of see her like skyrocket to fame after that?
Well, that's crazy. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
She was 16, and I remember she was so beautiful and so nice and quiet and sweet. And like, I remember even when I saw the movie for the first time, I didn't realize like how bitchy she was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cartoonishly so.
Yeah, cartoonishly.
She was not that way at all. Like not at all. And I just remember, like, how can someone be so beautiful and have the last name Fox? Like,
right? Yeah, is this a joke?
Telling the mom, they're like, "Oh, do you think we should go to LA?" I'm like, "Yes, you guys need to move to LA. Where are you not in LA for?"
Oh my God,
where were they? Yeah,
in Florida.
They were just in Florida.
Wow.
Wait, so Megan Fox moved to LA and became an A-list celebrity because you said, yes, move to LA.
Yes,
take some credit.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Wouldn't I like to think that? No, I mean, I remember having the conversation, because I remember thinking, wow, because everybody would be like, because immediately I thought, wow, she's so beautiful and she's so nice.
Yeah.
Like she belongs there. Why is she better go there now? I had no idea what we were getting ourselves into, even in Holiday in the Sun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know, you know? And I remember Taylor, like once on So Little Time, Taylor said, "This is going to haunt you. All of this is going to haunt you one day." You know, and he was kidding.
Whoa.
He was kidding. Like, this is, no, he was being, you know, sarcastic about it. He was very serious. He's like, "This is going to haunt you. It's going to come back. Like, people are going to like know you for all of this. Like, this is," you know, he was being funny and sweet about it. And he was right. We had no idea what that So Little Time, Holiday in the Sun, like what was, he has a different perspective of having a professional career all those years. So, but when I met Megan, I remember thinking, well, because people would always be like, "Easter, what a great name. Now, why did you choose Easter?" I'm like, "You think if I'm going to choose a stage name, then I'm going to choose the holiday Easter?" Like,
right.
Like, wouldn't I choose like something really cool?
Yeah.
Like Christmas? No.
And,
like, I don't know.
And Christmas. That's
I mean, it's like ridiculous. But so when I heard Fox, I thought, oh yeah, like what a great name. That's so much better than Easter. You know what I mean? I thought of, and then we were just talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I hope you go to LA. So I it's been really cool to see. I haven't run into Megan ever. The last time I saw her was on set. I've never run into her. And I'm so proud of her. I'm like so happy for her. Like she belongs in film and TV, and I'm so happy to see that her career has flourished, and I hope she's great. You know, I hope she's well, because she deserves it, you know?
Yeah, totally.
It's cool to see good people do well. I love that. That makes my heart happy. After all these years and like seeing, you know, actors that you run into, even at auditions, every audition, there's like, you know, the people that kind of resemble you a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's good to see that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like all the people on Holiday in the Sun, like from what you're saying and the smile on your face, like everyone seemed very sweet. It seems like
Yeah, it was
a good
crazy.
experience. Tell me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
like the stress, you know, any stress there was like me expertly feathering my boat up to the yacht. Like it was like
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that out. Like there was no like problems, like, you know, and that also goes to tell you, you know, like when you have really strong leaders, you know, like the twins, and you know, it starts from the top and it goes down, you know, and they created always such a strong, you know, powerful, you know, production that was respectful and everything. That, you know, I hear horror stories and I've had moments, not necessarily on projects that I was working on, but like I've had scenarios that were like not ideal or kind of scary, but but with them it was always fun to work with them, you know.
Yeah, that's so nice to hear, because we love them, and obviously like we haven't met them, but like we love them.
You have, because it's like exactly that. They're sweethearts, you know. And again, I haven't seen them recently. It's been a few years since I've seen them. Like I, you know, but even when there would be lulls in or, you know, when life was happening and we would go our separate ways and then reconnect, like it would just fall right back into how they were, you know, and their the dynamic from before. And so I can only imagine that and that they're the same, or that, and hope that they are, you know, doing great. And I think they seem to be doing really well.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I hope you guys can reconnect and that you can do some photography.
So like I've thought about it, like I should probably reach out or something, but like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy, but I also like, you know, if it happens, it happens, you know, like it was such a special bond and friendship. And, you know, it was somewhat empowering. Like, honestly, like I felt such a strong support from Ashley as an artist, I guess, that, and I hope she felt that way too. I mean, with all my corny things that I would make for her, you know, I sewed her like did I already tell you that?
What?
You didn't say you sewed anything.
I made her like a case, like a leather thing that would hold all these pencils for her birthday.
That's nice.
And then she was like, "Oh, I used the sketchbook," and like gave her sketchbook and stuff. And she started doing all of her sketches and stuff. Like it was like really supportive friendship at that time when I felt like, you know, and only because I was gay and living in the closet and, you know, like that support was really, really important for me, I guess, you know, and very much valued even to this day. Like I treasure it. So it's not something I want to force, or I've ever been like, I've got to reach out. I've got to be in touch with them. You know, I have friends that are in touch or see them here and there. And it's like, oh my God, Ashley asked about you, or how are you?
Yeah.
And then it's like, it just makes my heart happy. And the universe, you know, if it ever happens, it will happen. And
that's so nice.
It's sweet, but I hope they're great. You know, they're sweethearts, and they helped give me some amazing opportunities that people dream of having. So yeah, it was a gift.
Yeah.
I could literally like hear you talk for hours about how wonderful and sweet and powerful and amazing they were, because they're literally like my icons.
I mean, I wish I had like dirt. I wish I had something that was exciting. Or, you know, but there's nothing. There really is nothing, and that's why I also like have always felt somewhat defensive too. If anyone ever says anything, or they ask, or they want to know how they are, I will always talk about like they're amazing people. Like I had a friend. Did I tell you about my friend that was like dying? No. That was already passed. Who was battling a rare disease, dermatomyositis, and it was her birthday, and she had to be in the hospital on her birthday, and loved the twins. And I never wanted to bother the twins for anything, ever, and never did. Like I really didn't want to do that, but I thought, oh my God, like this would really make her day. Like, and so I just called Ashley and was like, hey, like, could you guys just say happy birthday, or text happy birthday or something? No question asked. And later I learned from Jill that they were literally on the tarmac getting ready to get on their jet, and they were going to like Germany or something, I don't know, for a movie junket or something. And they literally stopped on the tarmac, called her, sang her happy birthday or wish her happy birthday or something like that, and then like sent a gift basket. Like they went above and beyond. But like, here's the thing. Yeah, we were friends, and you could say they probably did it for me, for her. But I also would see them do, and like how important Make-A-Wish Foundation was for them. Like, and then we would talk about it. Like those are we'd have conversations about it, and they were easy to work for because they were loving, real human beings that like actually cared, you know? They weren't like, it was almost like media, like their personas were like made out to be something different, and that they were totally different people. And that's why I would always be like, no, like this is what they do. They're, you know, sorry.
Yeah. That's so nice to hear. I mean, you're like the closest that we've got. Yeah. You're the closest we've gotten to them at that age too. Like we've talked to people who knew them when they were really, really little, but like, and I feel like you worked the most closely with them and like had that friendship. And that's just so nice to hear. It's amazing.
I mean, I'm sure there's better candidates for that, you know, but from my experience, like those are the people that you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's amazing.
No, and it sounds like you and Ashley had a very genuine, sweet friendship, and I wish for you that you guys can connect. Just as
me too,
just for friendship's sake, because I love a beautiful friendship.
I am so proud of her for her. I remember when she was trying to figure out like, what am I gonna? I think I'm gonna name like my company this, or I'm thinking about doing this fashion stuff, and you know, we would kid around because like, you know, and here I was like making fun one day because she was like wearing this, like it looked like she was wrapped in a sheet. It looked like but then like she never gave me shit about what I made. Yeah. You know, like I'm like, oh my God, like here I made you a bando.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so funny. But like, so I love hearing about, you know, what they're doing, and I just hope they're happy and doing well.
And you told Ashley you should name your clothing line after your brother and your sister, maybe like Elizabeth and James, something like that.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And there it is.
No, I had no idea.
You're responsible for Megan Fox's career and for Mary.
I definitely
success.
Yeah. Oh, but I remember her saying like, "Oh, have you heard of YouTube?" Well, I'm like, "No, what's YouTube?" And she's like, "Well, you're on it." And I was like, "All right, well, I guess I'll look."
Oh my God.
Like clips of Holiday in the Sun.
Forever now. Like I just thought of that. That's crazy.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
this was amazing.
This was the best. Yeah.
I just want to say, like, it's 20 years since Holiday in the Sun. Anything that you would like the listeners to hear before we end?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what to say. I guess enjoy the movie, but I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You've already said so much about it.
You said so much. I just like, is there anything else like you're dying to say before?
Yeah.
And if there's not, that is understandable because we said so much.
No, enjoy. Like, I don't know. Thank you guys for letting me talk your head off.
Oh my God. Of course. We are so like, we have been so excited about this like for months. Like you don't even know.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm totally honored, and thank you for having me. And I guess the sad thing is I don't 20 years. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like 5 years, maybe.
I know. It's insane. It's insane. It just,
that means I'm getting old. That means I'm getting
all of us. I mean, I used to watch that movie all the time. Like we're basically their age. We're a couple years younger. And I just like the fact that it's been 20 years, like how is that what if I feel like I'm still 14? Like, I don't understand how that happened.
I know. Even watching it last night, it's funny because like I was a teenager when I was watching that movie, and it reminded me how vivid your feelings are when you're a teenager. Yeah. Because so many feelings and memories came rushing back just watching that movie.
Oh, wow. Memory. Big
Yeah,
deal.
Yes.
absolutely.
Big
Same,
six memory.
same.
Yeah. And also that just because like, you know, intense emotions are so intense then. And like
Totally.
this movie made me be like, oh my God, I want to go on a vacation with my family. And
Oh, I mean, this movie,
that's an
this
amazing
movie-
perspective. Thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah.
didn't
Oh
even think
my
of
God,
that.
of course.
This movie influenced a generation of women to believe that if you go on vacation with your parents, you'll fall madly in love with like the boy who works at the resort. Like I used to think that
People talk about this all the time.
Every time I went on vacation, I hoped that would happen. It never happened. And that's your fault.
It is.
Exactly.
You set up that expectation for me.
Oh, you actually lucked out that you never did. Like, you know,
Yeah.
what I mean?
I wondered actually watching it. I was like, Jordan probably does this every week. Like you're there all the time. Like you're always there.
Exactly.
You work there.
Probably
Like,
some schmuck that's like, you know, some player.
yeah.
Exactly. Oh my God.
You guys are gonna be gone in a week, right? Let's just go crazy. Let's steer some antiquities.
Yeah, like
exactly. Like what?
Yeah. So funny.
But there is a theme in the movie too, like, you know, of like your parents are leaving and you're growing up, and like, there's like a lot of themes there that just ring true.
Yeah,
it's a moment. It's a really special moment. You're part of.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. This has been like the honor of like I can't even tell you. Yeah, seriously. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm totally grateful. So
keep
doing what you guys are doing. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much. You too. You're really talented. Like I really,
we're going to keep singing your praises and telling everybody to hire you as a photographer and look up your stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed. So I'm lucky to get to do what I love. So thanks for your support. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. We'll have fun.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. I hope we can connect again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do. Yeah. Keep in touch.
Yeah, I would love to. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
I have to pee so bad. You don't even know. Like I've had to pee so bad this whole time. Like I was like considering like I have to the whole time, like urgent. I'll be right back. Hi.
I can't believe that just happened.
I know, that was magical.
Like, I feel like just because he was so sweet and present and like focused, I like feel like I was on set.
Really? Like you feel like you were like you're a part of it.
Yes. Like it's so maybe it is just because all those memories vivid of 2001 are coming back, but I'm just like, wow, it's real now. You know what I mean? Like it's
it's not just like this mythical thing from our childhood. It's like a real person who yes, it's so true. I totally know what you mean. Like stuff happened on set. They went to the private island. Like Ashley texted him. Like they're people, they're real people.
They're real people. And like our biggest dreams about them, so many of them are real.
Yeah. They're like, they're sweethearts. I know. It's amazing.
They're just badass sweethearts.
Yes.
Just take calls about $1 million deals that they have at Walmart.
They're
while they're
so
nice.
They're so nice. They're so giving, but they also like advocate for themselves and don't take shit. Like they are such good role models and icons, and I love them.
I love them so much. I love him. He's so sweet.
I know.
And so nice.
No, he's so sweet.
It almost didn't even feel like he like cared that we were going so long.
No, should we do an outro or is this the outro?
Generous. It might make, I mean, I've never felt this relaxed.
I know. He is this like soothing, kind, easy to talk to, just like beautiful soul. Like he really is just this like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have a glass of wine. I'm an adult now. I can do that.
No, of course you can have wine. Thank you guys so much. We love you and we'll see you next season.
See you next season.
Bye.
Bye.